no to those two things. I have checking my phone too much, which is probably something a lot of people have. So I'm going to leave my phone on this desk while I go to that desk and work, and it's not going to be within like grabbing distance. And then I have slow work. I have a tendency to kind of drift through task to task, run to the restroom, go hang out with my daughter real quick because my wife works. My family is right above me upstairs, and no, I gotta just get in. No sleep, slow work. So 3 things to watch out for. Sometimes on here I'll put emotional stuff like if I'm struggling with some anger or resentment, I gotta watch out for that. The last thing is 3 things to strive for, like your goals for the day, right? Not your to-do list. Make it different than your to-do list. This extra thing, and it could be a part of the to-do list or something more, is what I should say, something more than your to-do list. Maybe you do something on your to-do list better. But 3 things to strive for. So for me is I needed to do a full gruesome workout. I have not had a really true gruesome, gruesome, such a weird word. I don't like that word. Like a full workout. I've cut it short. I've done weights that are a little lighter than I probably needed to, stuff like that. And so that's one of my things that I'm striving for. Another thing that I'm striving for is that I need to build out some coaching stuff for the people I coach one-on-one. I want to build out some course material for them so that even whenever we're not talking one-on-one, they'll have some like video footage. So 3 things though, I'm not going to mention the rest. So break this down. This is actually a Huberman exercise. He talked about this, Andrew Huberman. 5 things you're grateful for. Be specific and try not to repeat yourself. Number 2, to-do list. Put 3 to 5 things and write down sprint next to it. Remind yourself to go fast. Number 3 things to watch out for. Could be something literal and physical. Could be also something emotional internally. And the 4th thing, 3 things to strive for. Outside of your to-do list, at the end of the day, if you were to hit these 3 things, it would be a crushed day. This is how I believe almost every entrepreneur should start their day. Let me know your thoughts. If you are a really big creator, I'm talking like 7 figures a month, and you're like in the top 5 to 10 in your niche, you probably already have a head of content or this creative director, whatever you call this person, creative strategist. And if you don't, you definitely need them. But I'm going to break down 3 key attributes that this creative director needs to have in order to truly scale your content team and help you kind of transcend and become that number 1 spot in your niche. Number 1, they need to have a macro strategy. What I mean by this is basically 2 things. Do they understand distribution? Okay, this is like clippers, podcast tours, volume, like just kind of how to distribute your content. If you go to an event, do they understand how to get hundreds of pieces of content on a 2-day trip? There's a bunch of different things like that, okay? Number 2 is do they understand growth tactics? This is like the monthly trend of like how you're gonna grow your account. It's like understanding how to use ManyChat and setting up a close friends ManyChat automation and then doing a Q&A that then leads to your lead magnet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How do we clip a automated YouTube video into shorts and then post them and connect them back to the YouTube video to get that cyclical growth? This is what I mean by growth tactics. Okay, so they have to have macro strategy, distribution, and growth tactics. There's also branding in there, which I'm not going to get into, but you also have to have branding and overall funnel optimization. Okay, that's time for a different video. Number 2 is they have to have micro strategy. Okay, whenever I say micro strategy, I'm literally talking about like the art of understanding the algorithm in human psychology. I was just on a call with a creative director of one of the biggest personal brands there is, and one thing he mentioned is he feels like he's further away from the algorithm because he's a team leader, which is great. Like that is not a bad thing at all. But ideally you have someone who can stay closer to the algorithm, like literally editing, like getting into the edits, maybe not editing entirely, maybe not scripting entirely, but finding that like niche vocabulary, analyzing the data, like feeling data move and go based off of what you're posting. They have to understand MicroStrategy. This is the hooks, the edits, all of this stuff, A/B testing, etc. And then the third thing, and this one is probably obvious, but it can just be so overlooked sometimes, is they have to be an operator and a team builder. And it's really hard to do both. Usually you can get a team builder or you can get an operator, but you need both. I just helped one of my clients hire a creative director, and this guy is a savage, okay? He's an operator and he's a team builder. Week 1, he came in and he changed all of our workflows, rebuilt the tech stack, cleaned up the database, everything, doing a great job. He's also a team builder. He knows the first 3 to 5 hires that we need to go get to help start scaling some of this volume and some of this content, right? It's hard to become both because usually someone has the strategy to build the team, but they're not an operator. They're kind of heads in the clouds. This is kind of me. I'm not as much of an operator. I'm a little more heads in the clouds, strategical thinking. So to find that combo is really difficult. So to break this down, if you are a top 0.001% creator and you want to hire this creative director role, you want to look for 3 things. Number 1, macro strategy in the form of distribution, okay, growth tactics, funnel optimization, and branding. Okay. Number 2 is they have to understand micro strategy. This is everything that requires being close to the algorithm. Do they understand top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel content? Do they understand hooks? Do they understand pacing and storytelling? Do they understand niche vocabulary? Like what are the words that the viewers are obsessed with because they're reading the comments or they're reading the replies to the newsletter and they know that everyone is replying, asking questions about orca whales. Okay, well, let's go make some content about orca whales, right? And then the third thing is, are they an operator and a team builder? Can they build the workflows, and then can they go hire and fire and manage a budget so that you can build the most insane team of all? If you can find someone like this, pay them a lot of money because they are very worth it, and they will make you 50 times more money than you probably pay them. One of the biggest concerns that a lot of new creators come to me and talk to me about is they feel like they don't have the social proof or the credibility to be making their type of content. For example, this guy wanted to make content on how to get brand deals, and he's had a few, but he hasn't had a ton, and so he's like, man, I don't know if I can teach people how to do this. And that might not be necessarily the case. Another girl wanted to give some holistic medical advice, but she didn't quite have the certificates. She felt like, maybe I'm inadequate to give some of this advice, or why would people listen to me? You don't necessarily need those certificates. I'm going to get into 3 ways that you can do this without having the accolade or whatever it is. But first, I want to talk about a concept called a super hook. Really briefly, I have a whole video on it. You should go and talk about it. But basically, you should have your hook, which is about 3 seconds long. And then you should consider having a super hook. This is answering why someone should listen to you. So for example, I didn't have one in this video, but I could have started this video like, man, so many people struggle with thinking about how to get social proof for a video, and me personally, I've worked with 10 creators with over 1 million followers, and they all had this one thing that truly worked. Here's the video. Okay, my social proof, my super hook, was me saying, I worked with 10 creators with over 1 million followers. That's actually, that's just an example. Okay, it doesn't matter how you do it, but now I'm going to talk about